Hello guys and welcome back to another UCO Fantasy video. Before we dive into the content today, I want to showcase to you that I reached my sub goal of 2.5k. I couldn't have done it without you, so thank you. Thank you a lot. It means the world to me, believe me. As you can see, the sub goal in this white hasn't changed. In the next one, we're going to discuss the next goal that me and you are going to try and smash. But once again, many thanks, and I hope that my content is going to be very viable for you and very valuable, as you'll be able to get as much information as possible. Now let's go and see the video that I have planned for you. Today I'm going to talk about some deadline tips for the upcoming match day 9. I'm going to share to you two team news that I want to emphasize on. Then we're going to go through the captain options from day 1 and day 2 both. So you'll be able to pick the best captain, and then you're going to see my match day final team. Of course, this team may change if we get some news before the kickoff, but if everything is in order, I think this will be my final team. Now here you can see the sub goal of 2.5k has jumped to 5k. I know it's a big jump, but I keep putting those small sub goals and you keep smashing them like in negative time. So today I decided to move it one step further and increase it to 5k. Let's see when we're going to reach it, if at all we're going to be able to reach it, but we're halfway there, and let's see if we can reach anyway further than that number. From 2000 to 2.5, it was a big thing for me, but you just smashed it in 40 days. So I decided to increase it to 5k in order to see if at all we're going to be able to smash it. If you want to help me beat that number, subscribe to the channel. All of your help is very much appreciated. And now let's go to the team news that I wanted to mention and that are going to influence my team. So here are screenshots of the two news that I wanted to mention. First of all, Feyenoord has sacked their manager. The successor of Arne Slot is gone 2 days before the Milan game, so that Milan game becomes unpredictable. I don't know if that's good or bad for Milan or for Feyenoord, but I'm not willing to bet on them. Probably we'll keep only one player from both teams combined, so we'll have only one player. I think you would be easily manage to guess it, but for now I think it really doesn't suit me well to go for Feyenoord players. I went with Paihao, and that guy looks all right, but with the new manager, I don't know what style they're going to play. Is he going to use that player? Probably he is, and probably I'm a little bit overreacting, but a quick manager change before the UCL playoff games, I think that's not something that I'll be looking to invest players from that team. So we know Paihao will be leaving, and he will make way for one player that you see on the squad list of PSG versus Brest, that is Kvaratskhelia. I'm going to go for Kvaradona because he joined PSG in order to play UCL football, and I think that he will play amazingly well. Of course, there are a lot of opportunities for players like Barcola, players like Dembele, even Ramos that can come on and play to their best strengths. But for now, I think Kvaratskhelia is going to be an amazing addition and someone that's hungry for UCL football. Of course, Kouamouani has been registered for Juve, so if you're looking for a Juve forward, Kouamouani is your guy instead of Vlahovic. And if you're looking for City reinforcements, they added to the list Marmoush. So Marmoush is going to join the frame. So there, I don't know how they're going to be utilizing the squad in that sense. So I will be monitoring that as well in the game against Real Madrid. But all we know, almost all of the new players that are big signings are in the Champions League squads. Rashford and Asensio were registered for Aston Villa in what if they are with good draw in the round of 16. We will talk about them, but for now, Kvaratskhelia, Marmoush, and Kouamouani are the top three players that I think are being added to the game. Nuno Mendes returns from a suspension. A viewer pointed out that he was suspended, but he was suspended in Matchday 8, so now he's back. And I think with seeing PSG squad, that makes our choice way easier, as I don't think it's going to be very difficult to just copy and paste whoever is starting to your team. That's the beauty of it. So probably I will be stacking up from players from that team, as knowledge is something that I value a lot, and concrete knowledge is the best thing ever. Now let's go and see and discuss some captaincy options. I have some cheeky picks, some obvious picks. Let's go and discuss them day 1 and day 2. So here we are seeing the day one captaincy options that I think are going to be most valuable and most viable to go for. We're going to start with Dembele. He had a pretty amazing game in Matchday 8 and he scored a hat-trick. Now with Kvaratskhelia joining the team, he plays as a center forward, and this position against a French side, I think is going to be a beautiful position. He will have the support from Kvaratskhelia and Barcola. Then it's Nuno Mendes and Hakimi on the wings. I think it's going to be beautiful and everything is going to be offloaded to Dembele. If you're picking a single PSG midfielder, I think Dembele is your guy, as he's most probably on pens and he's playing as a center forward out of position at the price of 8.4 with a lot of expensive players not available at the current moment. I think that's a very good pick to add to your squad. Next up, we are going to discuss Kylian Mbappe. He faces Manchester City, and most of you may say, but City away, it's not easy for Real Madrid, but Real Madrid can score against anyone, and I think that Mbappe will start showcasing his power in the UCL as he was not performing very well in the group stages. Now at almost 11 million, he will be facing Man City, who are struggling a lot and coming a little bit from the left. Like Vini Jr. and Mbappe for me are going to have a very solid game and are going to cause a lot of damage to that City lineup. City will try to control the game, and Mbappe and Vini and Rodrigo even on the counter attack are going to be amazing. Mbappe can be replaced with Vini, can be replaced with Rodrigo. Whoever you can pick from that Real Madrid squad for a captaincy is going to be an okay captain. Then we're going to talk about Guirassy. This guy has had an attacking return in each week so far. In each match day, he had either a goal or an assist. So is he going to continue that feat? Probably, as Sporting are struggling defensively and are currently not in a great form. And I think even though Dortmund are not in a very great form either, Guirassy can continue doing some serious damage and can cause an upset early on in that fixture away from home. Of course, here you can pick some home players like Kouamouani, like Haaland, like Foden, but I really think that those players are going to be the exciting picks to go for away from home, probably on the counter, most of them. Hakimi at 5.5 is going to be most probably be my day one captain, as this guy can easily score the most goals in a game, give assists, get a clean sheet, get some defensive returns. All in all, a pretty amazing pick at that 5.5 and the day one pick. I think I'm going for that defensive enforcement. Of course, you can go for Nuno Mendes, you can go for Pacho, but I think Hakimi is just the best of the bunch. Kvaratskhelia, Barcola, Haaland, Foden, KDB, Kouamouani, a lot of other options in the captaincy department. I just think that those four and Real Madrid players like Vini and Rodrigo, of course, I forgot to add, I think all in all are going to do well. But those four in me are going to be the most exciting ones. We have two forwards. We have Dembele and Hakimi from PSG. I think it's a pretty good solution. Now let's see how day two is going to look if your captain doesn't perform. So the beauty of Champions League is that you can switch captain, and being prepared for day two matters as well. Going into day two, I think that the captaincy options, all in all, in both days are not overly exciting for me. To be fair, the only feasible option in my team that I'm going to rely on is Harry Kane. Of course, players from Atalanta like De Ketelaere or Retegui or even some of the defenders can be a very good differential captaincy option. It's up to you if you pick any Atalanta attackers. I'm a little bit hesitant. Even though they have been scoring some good goals, they have been majorly split between all of them. And Bruges, I know, are an easy game. At the end of the day, I think that Atalanta defenders are going to be way better than their attackers, as Lookman for me was their best attacker. Of course, De Ketelaere is close second. Retegui is a very close third, if I have to say. Of course, Retegui scored those 4 goals during the weekend and is going to be very popular. But I think the forward spots this week are very tight. And if Lookman was fit, of course, I would have opted for Lookman. But now with him out, De Ketelaere and Retegui will probably miss my team. But at the end of the day, if you have one of them, they're good captaincy options. Of course, we move then to Pulisic, who faces Feyenoord, and we already discussed that Feyenoord are with a new manager. Of course, here you can go for Jimenez, you can go for Rafa Leao, you can go for Pulisic. I think the three guys that are going to be the best picks for you. In my opinion, Pulisic has been the most feasible option to go for from AC Milan. He has been on corners, on some set pieces outside of the box. I think he's on penalties, if I'm not mistaken. So at 7.5, Pulisic can be a very, very good captaincy option. The best captaincy option, of course, for day 2 is going to be Harry Kane against Celtic. I don't think I need to explain myself there. He is just that good. And Ulise is a midfielder that I think can cause some serious damage. Of course, there is Musiala, there is Gnabry, there is Coman, there is Ulise. There are a lot of players coming from the Bayern Munich ranks that are options to play. Müller as also can be used in those UCL games, but I feel like Ulise is going to be the nailed one. And if you're looking for a very, very differential Bayern Munich attacker that to be a captain, Ulise is the guy. By the looks of things, the 8 captains that I've decided on are away from home, which might not be the best idea in the world, but at the end of the day, the home fixtures, I mentioned Cole Mwani, I mentioned Foden and Haaland as good options. Then we have Gyökeres, who I don't know if he's going to start. Then we have Celtic, Bruges, Brest, and Monaco players playing at home, and Feyenoord. So I don't think that the home fixtures this week are going to be that popular, in my opinion, to target, but that would mean for match day 10 everyone will be playing at home, so it's going to be a completely different story. But yeah, those are the day 2 captaincy option. Put down in the comment section if you think that I'm missing someone. I honestly don't feel like it's a big miss to go from players from the rest of the teams, but you can have your opinion and I would like to hear it. Here is how my team is looking at the moment that I'm going to go for in the upcoming week. Of course, there are 9 players playing for me on the 11th of February. Those are a lot of players, but if that's below the number of 12, I think that the number is alright. 9 players, meaning that a lot of things can happen and a lot of things will happen for that team, but still I will have 6 players to come on as subs in order to fit the criteria. So the only players playing on day 2 from my team are Zappacosta and Kim. We're going to start by discussing the oppositions, of course. So not the price, sorry, so the opponent. So Di Gregorio starts against PSV. I think one of the few home fixtures in my team currently, which might be good, might be bad, but yeah, Di Gregorio going in goal, as Juve are okay at home especially, and in the defensive side of things. Then moving to Hakimi and Nuno Mendes. Yesterday in my team selection video, I explained why I went with them instead of Pacho and Donnarumma. I'm going to repeat myself. I like to have attacking wingbacks from the very best teams, and PSG is one of the very best teams and has one of the best fixtures, and I think that in the end, PSG will be doing a very, very solid performance, and having the left back and the right back from that team feels like a cheat code, and probably both will be able to deliver. Moving up ahead in midfield for Dembele and Kvaratskhelia. Already explained it when talked about Dembele. He's going to be playing central, so I think he's in a very, very good position to score goals. And Kvaratskhelia joined PSG in order to play in UCL this season, and I think he's going to shine in that tournament. Unless Kvaratskhelia is benched, my PSG players are not going to change, unless, of course, some of them are benched, but I think they are in a pretty good position. Then we have Bakayoko against Juventus. I know that I've mentioned that Juve are good at home defensively, and that's the complete truth, but sometimes they can get in a little bit of a predicament and just do badly, and I wanted to have the best coverage from PSV. That was Tillman, of course, but now with Tillman injured, second best is Bakayoko. Bakayoko has been exciting player, has been scoring some goals, has been doing all right. So I think against Juve he can be a threat. As Juve are great defensively, those fast players are going to be the only issue for them. And if Bakayoko do not perform, of course I have sub options for him, but I wanted to be prepared for both scenarios. Then we have Phil Foden facing Real Madrid. Here I've seen options to go for Bellingham and Haaland, or Vini and Foden, Vini and KDB, Mbappe and Foden, or Marmoush, Haaland, a lot of players being integrated into the rotation. I just feel like Phil Foden has found his best form as of right now. And with Nunes playing as a right back, I think that Foden will shine against Real Madrid and can do some serious damage. But the same thing can be said about Kylian Mbappe, who will be facing against poor defensive City side, and I think that he can score a lot of goals here. It's completely my personal preference to go for Mbappe instead of Vini or Rodrigo. Honestly, I don't think you can differentiate them. Probably penalties is the only thing that can be added here, but we don't know who is on pens. Rodrigo has been great and Guardiola has been struggling. If Vini is against Nunes, it's going to be hard. I don't know how City are going to contain Vini now with Kyle Walker gone. That is a big question to be answered, at least in my opinion. But if Mbappe and Vini are having a field day on the counter, just Vini sprinting and passing the ball to Mbappe and he just tapping in it, I think that Real Madrid are going to have a good day. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's see how the game goes. Of course, Girassi is making the list here as he has been the player with 8 match days in which he returned. I think that he can continue that streak and he can do some proper damage. Now discussing the players from the 12th, it's Kim versus Celtic. I don't think I need to explain Kim, the best defender in Bayern Munich in my opinion, and a guy that I think will get the most points from their defense. And Zappacosta playing as a left wing back. Of course, we will have the lineup for Atalanta in day 2, so we will know if Zappacosta starts. If he doesn't, I'm just not going to put him into play. On the bench, I still have Trubin from Benfica. I've received a lot of comments saying that why I'm going for Trubin, because while I have not, I think that Trubin is a good option and a player that I would like to believe in. Then we move to Harry Kane. I don't think I will be starting Matchday 9 or 10 without Harry Kane. This guy on penalties and scoring for fun is going to be in. Then we have Pulisic against Feyenoord. Those two are great options for Matchday 2 if my captaincy option does not work. And Hien has been the best center back from Atalanta, so he's joining the frame. Of course, the captaincy option now is in Hakimi, and I don't see myself changing it, as I really think that the defensive options are secretly going to be good options and are going to perform very well. So at the end of the day, I would say that Hakimi feels like a differential captain, might not perform, but I have Harry Kane for day 2. So at the end of the day, I think it's going to be an okay performance. Of course, I have some players like Vini, like Leao, like Jimenez, like Kouamouani, like Bellingham. Probably I'm missing someone. KDB is not here. In the defensive department, Hernandez is not here. Mainan is not here. Of course, I have several players that I have not chosen, but I don't think we can choose every time the best possible players in not the best, but every player in every position. I want to have a little bit of a diversification, and I have a player from every game, which is quite important for me, just to look to those games in order to see something special. Let's see how that goes. I'm not expecting a lot of 100 points this week. I'm expecting it to be maxed at around 80, as now fixtures are less and we have a less of a choice. Only 8 games in this round. It will be 8, 4, 2 and 1 at the end of the road. So this would be one of the last high scoring weeks, at least in my opinion. Let's see how it goes, but yeah, I want to be really prepared, and putting players from the best teams, it's a good way, and having a cheeky differential with Bakayoko will make my day. Once again, special shout out to the members of the channel: Seth, Foreign with 30 gifted, Zach, Oscar, Papas, Kauser with 45 gifted, and Hem. Thank you very much for becoming members of the channel. If you guys want to support me financially, memberships is one of the ways to do it. If you cannot afford it or don't want to spend money, just hit that subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. Press that like button, leave down a comment, and will of course support me massively. I will be going to do a deadline stream for sure, so we can answer all of the questions there. Then on Wednesday I will be having one more stream where we will be preparing for day 2, so we will have a lot of options, so be there for the stream. I will try to start hour and a half before the deadline, so be prepared. Around that time I will be live. Hopefully you will be able to join it and we can answer all of your dilemmas. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, sub, like, comment, all of those amazing stuff. But for now guys, I'll be heading out. Bye.